Welcome to the Dave Pamah Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Pamah.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Pamah Show. And today we have a fantastic guest joining us, Jessie Janowitz, the author of the middle grade novels, The Doughnut Fix, The Doughnut King, and her upcoming book, All the Ways to Go, which actually been released in 2024. Her books have been recognized as Junior Library Guild Selections, Bank Street Best Children's Books of the Year, and even won Mississippi Children's Choice Award. So beyond being an accomplished writer, Jessie also has a background in law and holds an MFA in writing for children. So we're going to dive into her journey as an author, the impact of her books, and most importantly, why reading with your children is so essential. So Jessie, welcome to the Dave Pamah Show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you here, Jessie. It's a pleasure having you here across the pond. London, New York, London. I love that journey, actually. Yeah. So, do you go to
I
Manhattan?
love London.
Yeah, I love Manhattan. I love both, actually. There you go. Do you go to
They
Manhattan?
have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, there's similarities there. You're just a bit of a giant compared to us. That's all. Like a big brother. Anyway, let's get to it. So before we get into your books, I'd love to hear more about what first sparked your passion for writing stories for children. Was there a particular moment or experience that led you down this path?
Well, I mean, my mom was a writer. I always wrote. I studied literature in college, and I worked in publishing for a bit. But it wasn't until so I would write kind of for myself after that. I worked on a newspaper in college.
Yeah.
But when I was reading with my children, I have 3 children, and when they got to the point where they could focus on a story, I realized that the books that really shaped me, that made the biggest difference in my life, were books that I had read at that age, that it's such an important moment in a kid's life, and that spark, that connection you get when a book, the story that's being told begins to unfold in your brain, is such a formative and can be such a positive experience. I thought, you know what, that's what I really want to do. I want to make stories for kids. And I also realized, as much as there were so many stories that my kids found that they loved, and we would listen to audiobooks in the car, like books were really a family experience.
Yeah.
There were so many books that were very heavy and very issue laden, very sad.
Oh,
and
right, okay. I thought you meant the weight of it heavy.
Like, no, I mean
like
the issues, like,
yeah, I know,
metaphorically, that it was a lot. And I noticed that when my kids are only given a choice between books like that or not reading at all, they would choose not reading at all. That, there's so much for them. There was so much sadness going on in the world. Books had to be a place where they knew nothing really horrible was happening. And it was even better if the books made them giggle a little bit. And so I said, I want to write books for kids like that, who are searching, or maybe having trouble finding books that they really connect to. And the best thing about my journey is that, I'm continuing on it, but as part of that journey, I get emails from kids who say, I'm not a reader. I don't really fall in love with books, and I have read your book 5 times. And I always write back saying, if you've connected with this book, I promise you there are other books out there that you'll connect with. But knowing that I made a difference in that way has been incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It's quite interesting. You're saying you studied writing and everything like that, but you're also a law, or you was a lawyer as well. So how did that happen?
So when I was working in publishing, I wasn't working in editorial. I was actually working in rights. And so I was selling translation rights and serial rights. Actually, it's interesting. The selling serial rights is to newspapers is big business in the UK, given the way.
In the UK. All right. Okay.
In the UK.
So that's the work you did when you was in the UK.
Exactly. But that job basically doesn't exist in the US because we serialize far fewer books. So I sold rights to book clubs, newspapers and magazines, and also translation rights. So I worked a lot internationally.
It's a bit like songwriters' rights, isn't it, really? Because that's big business as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
like intellectual property kind of thing.
Exactly. Really, it was working in intellectual property.
Yeah.
It was understanding copyright. And I would do all the negotiating of the contract, and then I would walk my way over to the legal office and they would sign off for me. And I was thinking, wait a minute, like I'm doing the same work. I'm getting paid like a very small fraction of what this lawyer is getting paid. Maybe I should go to law school. And I love school. And so that going to law school was an amazing experience for me. And I feel like I still use the things I learned in law school, even though I'm not practicing. Authors are really required to wear so many hats.
Yeah, I thought it was suits myself. But anyway, sorry. Sorry about that. So, the old ones are the best ones.
So, I mean, that background has proved to be really, really worthwhile for me.
Yeah, fantastic. Do you still do a bit of that work now then, do you? Or
I only for myself.
Okay,
and my family. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? You mean you write books and you do it for yourself and you write books?
I write, well, in terms of the contract, I write contracts for myself when I'm engaged to speak somewhere, whether it's in school or someplace else.
Oh, even for speaking, even when you're speaking. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. So you basically you go in as an author. But you obviously you're going to give us, talk anyway, and you write the contracts as all part of the package.
Right. I do that a lot at schools. So I'm brought in by schools in the US to talk to kids about writing, about the importance of reading, about how the tools they can use to help them identify books that they'll love. And so, for those appearances, I write the contract with the school.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite interesting, really. Some people, they just actually throw their stuff on the internet to sell without any of this kind of contracts and everything. So they're not really doing what you're doing, are they?
No.
Is that a pretty dangerous thing to do then, is it? To just go
I mean, as a lawyer, I think if you have something valuable and you actually care about its value, just putting it up on the internet is not the way to.
No, anyone can try and especially if they could copy it anyway, couldn't they? Really, just by just taking pictures of the pages one by one and just saying, I'll change that around a bit and use that story or whatever.
Exactly, and even though the internet's a great way to reach many people at once, I would argue if you've created something of value, like, you want to have some face-to-face interactions so that you can see the impact of your work.
When you say face-to-face interactions, because...
So I go to book festivals, for example.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I get to talk to kids who've read my book. I get to talk to kids who are interested in buying my books. When I go to schools, all of that face-to-face interaction is super time consuming, but for me, it's completely worthwhile.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's similar to films, really. What it is, it's like books, films, and I think, what's the other one now? Music. They all have festivals, don't they? And at the end of the day, you do face-to-face interactions with all of them. Even with films, you're going to festivals all the time and you're doing stuff to promote it, aren't you? It's the same with books, isn't it?
Same. I mean, I think what makes children's books unique is that the end user is not the purchaser, right? Because parents are the ones who are buying books for kids. And so one thing that's really great about both doing television interviews and podcasts is I can speak directly to parents.
Yeah.
Or at these book festivals when parents are coming around with their kids. I can explain things to them about, a lot of times you hear parents are so frustrated. Why aren't my kids reading? And it's an opportunity for them to open up about that and us to discuss, like, well, maybe what could be done in the family home that encourages reading. I've done a series of posts on Instagram. There was a series on TikTok, insofar as TikTok existed.
Yeah, well, for you in America, I don't know if it's going to get banned here yet. Yeah.
Tips for raising readers, which anyone can check out. And it was 5 minutes of me like saying, this is something you can do to help as a family, make reading something that you all do together.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I've got an almost 10-year-old daughter now, and she's forever. We've got this thing called Book Sunday, which is her reward day. And sometimes it might turn into a little toy or whatever, but she's getting a bit too old for that. But, she's always getting books. But the thing is that they just pile up. So she sits down and reads it initially. She sits down and reads it initially, but she's not a cover to cover reader, and it's getting too much really. But I think eventually she'll have to sit down and read the whole lot of it. I've got a massive bag full of them now. Or I should say a bookshelf. I should get a bookshelf really, but yeah. And then she seems to want to read on her own though, but that's not really. I mean, I'll try to read with her. And to her some stuff. But
one thing there are a couple of things I can say about, 10 is such the perfect age for kids to catch the reading bug. And as long as kids are excited about stories and about listening, whatever skills, wherever they are in their journey as a reader, as long as they like stories, they'll keep coming back to them. But there's a lot of kind of like insecurity and worry in kids, like, where am I relative to my peers? Is this a book that my peers could read and I can't? And so at home, I think it's great just to focus on the enjoyment of the story. And that's why I'm a huge fan of audiobooks.
Yeah, audiobooks,
it's one thing if you're reading to your kid and that's a beautiful, tender moment. And I encourage that as well. But let's be honest, like, parents are busy. We've all got a lot going on. And what's great about audiobooks is you can choose moments that become carved out time that you listen to an audiobook. For us, it was always in the car.
Yeah, that's right.
But you could also do it while you're making dinner. I'm going to be making dinner. You sit here and draw, and we'll both listen to this story together. And that's an amazing experience because you're both in the position of the listener. No one is like doing the reading and being the listener, and you can talk about it together. So audiobooks, I think, are such a useful tool for today's parents.
No, absolutely. I mean, I have dyslexia, and I swear by audio books all the time. If I do,
absolutely.
If I get a chance, obviously, people can also plug this video in afterwards and listen to this between us, and that's quite entertaining sometimes and educational at the same time. So there's always some great things with audio and sometimes video as well. But don't do it when you're driving, obviously, with videos. How old are your kids anyway?
So my eldest is 24.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. You look too young to say 24. But anyway, yeah.
And then I have a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, so you don't really read.
Two are boys. Pardon?
You don't read to them anymore then, obviously.
You know what? I read to my daughter sometimes.
She really? 17? She's what? Oh, right. Okay.
She was sick recently. We snuggled up on the couch.
Oh,
and I read to her.
Okay.
I don't think, and we listened to the audiobooks in the car while the kids were in high school. Like, those books can just grow with you. Like, when my kids were already quite old, we listened to, there's an amazing nonfiction writer for kids, and his name is Steve Schenken. And if you or your listeners aren't familiar with his work, I highly recommend it. And we listened as a family, my kids were quite old already, to his book Bomb, which is about the development of the atomic bomb. And it was all this stuff about and he tells the story in an age appropriate way. It wasn't scary. And he tells it in, in a mysterious, exciting way and it was fantastic. The entire family listened to the whole thing in the car, and we all came away with, a lot more information than we had. And this shared experience.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. It's kind of a cross between watching a great movie. Some people prefer to read the book because it brings that imagination in your head without actually watching the visuals. But the audio is kind of somewhere in between, isn't it? Where you really create that still image in your head without actually watching it. And it's kind of like you're in that movie kind of thing still, isn't it? Really sitting there and watching it. Right?
Absolutely. And the nice thing is in the car, ideally everybody's phones are away and that's the only thing anyone's doing.
Yeah.
The problem these days is, most kids and even adults are having trouble just focusing on one thing.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I don't know about your kid or your own habit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, even you
can see, right? They can't just focus on one thing. My daughter sometimes will be watching a movie while she's simultaneously on her phone.
Yeah.
Now, my daughter really likes games. She's not doing anything.
Oh, mine's into games as well now.
I don't mean she doesn't play video games. She plays
board games.
Word games.
Oh, okay.
She's obsessed with this game called Set, which is a pattern recognition game.
Oh, okay.
And so,
that's quite good.
So she's doing things that are educational.
Educational, yeah. I did buy a word game.
It's still a distraction. It's still doing two things at once and half paying attention to both.
Yeah.
And what is unique about reading is that you can't do something else while you're reading.
No, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't split your attention. And that's why your mind is better engaged than it is when you're doing something, because it's more active, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the benefits of reading, I think, are so much. The evidence study shows that the benefits of reading far outweigh the benefits of watching a movie, for example.
Yeah, that's why some people prefer the books. Well, listen, your books have resonated with so many young readers, and you're a strong advocate for reading with children. So in your experience, what are some of the biggest benefits of making reading a shared activity between parents and kids?
So there are so many things that as parents we get wrong. Let's be honest, we're all doing our very, very best.
Yeah.
But we make mistakes. And it's hard for kids to point out maybe something that we've done that is making it harder for them, even if it's unwittingly, we think we're doing something good. For example, in my most recent book, All the Ways to Go, the main character's mom, Milo, thinks she's doing the right thing because she's super, super supportive of her son's interest in chess, and he's super successful. But there's this point when supporting our kids can feel like pressure. It crosses over into pressure, and all of a sudden a kid may say, oh, I don't think I can tell my parents I don't want to do this anymore. And when I go into schools and I ask kids whether or not they've ever maybe lied to someone they love to prevent their feelings from getting hurt because they were afraid if they told the truth, I actually don't like this gift, I don't want to read this book, I don't want to keep doing karate, whatever it is, they're afraid that they're going to hurt their parents' feelings.
Yeah.
And so one great benefit that comes out of reading good children's books is that it's an opportunity to kind of see those difficult issues played out in another space, in a safe space that maybe will open the door to a conversation. Eventually, my main character, Milo, tells his mom the truth.
All right. Okay.
And I think that is a moment, both adults and kids have said that they relate so much to that struggle.
Yeah, of course.
And so I think that's a huge thing. The other thing is so many parents who say, oh, it's awful, my kids don't read. When I ask them if they read, they say they don't.
Right. Yeah. So
I get it. It's really, if reading hasn't been a part of your life also, not to mention a lot of us, I mean, especially those of us with learning differences, have some pretty scarring memories of reading. And so while, some of us may only have positive associations, some of us have negative associations and never went back to reading because it was just, it brought too much stuff up.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that in order for kids to believe and to feel the importance of reading, they have to see that parents find it important too, or see a benefit.
Yeah, it's kind of role modeling it to them, isn't it?
As well. Yeah. But I think that my favorite books are children's books. Like that doesn't mean that you have to sit there every night and read your book.
Yeah.
It can be, let's sit down and read this children's book together. And that can be your reading. As long as you're doing it with your kid in one way or another, they're going to get that message.
Yeah. Mine just keeps saying, Papa, look. And I'm sort of, I don't actually read the whole lot, but I should do, I suppose. But I'm look at it with her and I get involved in some way anyway. But and the other thing is, like you said it before, is obviously how busy we are as well. But there's no excuse to slip in that moment when they've got the book open. You can sit down with them and actually read with them, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think we feel we're so busy all the time, but when your kid says, "Can you read to me?" I think the answer always has to be yes.
Yeah.
Right? Unless there's something there's a fire, there's something so important. Because one day they won't ask you anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
And they'll remember, that'll strengthen your bond with them.
Yeah, that's right.
And we can't read a book without having our imaginations engaged. Trevor Noah actually has been talking about this a lot, about why he reads, and the difference between reading and watching something is that this incredible activity starts going on in your brain that you're not even making happen, right? Your imagination is taking over. The words are sparking these pictures in your brain. And the thing that's so essential about imagination is it allows us to hope.
Yeah.
And to dream. And I know that you do a lot of aspirational work with people trying to change their lives, to see themselves doing something that, feel that they feel good about and positive. And that's impossible if you can't hope. And if you can't engage your imagination, you can't hope. We can't, right? When I think of a goal, I can only do that because I have the power to imagine myself in a different space, doing something different and being successful. So I would argue that finding success is absolutely dependent on us priming our kids' imaginations through books.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Jessie, this has been such a great conversation. I love how you highlight the importance of reading with children and how your books are inspiring young minds. So before we wrap up, where can our listeners find your books and how can they connect with you?
Oh, so I love connecting with readers on social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, and I have a website, jessiejanowitz.com, where you can email me directly if you have questions about my work. If your kids read my book, I love hearing from kids, and I always respond to readers. It's really important to me. And I think that also helps kids to continue reading if they write authors and authors write them back. You can order my books on Amazon.com, on Barnes & Noble, and in the US at any indie bookstore.
Fantastic. Well, Jessie, once again, thanks for coming on my show and sharing your work and your expertise.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening. And remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. Or head over to my website, davepamah.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Pamah Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.